Good evening. My name is Camille Wilkinson. I'll be doing a head to toe assessment for South University program F&D. Thank you. And I have come into my room. I've introduced myself to my patient. I'll be doing an assessment on Miss Brittany Brown. So here we go. How are you today?
I'm good.
All right. Can you tell me your first and last name?
Brittany Brown.
Brittany. Thank you. So when's your birthday, Brittany?
10/18/1991.
All right. And what year are we in?
2019.
2019. Right. So what state are we in?
South Carolina.
And who's the president?
Mr. Trump.
So I have assessed her orientation, her long-term memory, and her short-term memory, and she has, she's fine. She's alert and orient times 3. And memory is intact. So now we'll move over to assessing her head. All right. So I'm gonna assess her head for any type of lesions, any issues with hair distribution, and any lumps or masses or polyps. So I'm also assessing for any tenderness. Are you having any pain when I touch your hair? Alrighty. Alright. I'm also assessing her lymph nodes, her cervical lymph node, her subarcular lymph nodes, submandibular lymph nodes, mandibular lymph nodes. Are you having any pain when I do this?
No.
So I'm going to assess her sensation. Are you feeling any difference on either side of your face when I do your sensation?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to assess her cranial nerves, facial cranial nerve, also her ocular and trochanter nerve. Can you raise your eyebrows up? Okay. And close them real tight. Real tight. Thank you. All right, can you make a smile for me? All right, stick out your tongue. All right, tongue from side to side. Great. All right, so I'll be moving on to your eyes. And looking at her eyes, I can tell that her sclera is clear. Her conjunctiva is pink. She does not have any injection. And I will be checking her accommodation of her eyes with the ophthalmoscope. So I was able to see that her pupils are equal. They're round and they're reactive to light. I also was able to see the red disc and they were patent, and she doesn't seem as if she has any type of ocular issues. I will be moving on to her ears, nose. So with her nose, I can see that she has upon inspection, she has her septum is midline. I'm going to be using the otoscope. So her nose, her septum, again, is midline. There's no deviation. She doesn't have any rhinorrhea, and her nares are pink, and terminates are pink and non-swollen. So I'll be going now to assess her ears, and I'll be checking the trach auricle to see if there is any tenderness when I pull on and tug on it. Any pain here?
No.
Okay. And I'm also going to push in on the tragus. Any pain here?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to have visual inspection. Any pain when I pull?
No.
So on adults, you want to pull up, and out to have a visualization of your ear. And when I push on your tragus, any pain there?
No.
All this is for to assess if she has possibly any infection in the inner ear. And her ears are intact. Her canal is clear. She doesn't have any tympanic membrane. Is gray, pearly gray, bilaterally. If I had the otoscope with the pump, I'd be able to assess whether or not her eustachian tubes or they had any type of mobility to them. But I am without that equipment. So now I'm going to be assessing her, going back to the nose and having her cover one of her nares to see if she has any breathing problems. Could you cover one of your nostrils and breathe for me? Any problems there?
No.
Okay, and the other one? Okay, any problems there?
No.
All right, sound like you had just a little bit of nasal congestion, but it sounds like it clears, comes and goes.
Yeah.
Allergy season's coming, there's all this pollen that's in the air. All right, so now I'll be assessing her mouth, and upon visual inspection, I don't see that she has any lip lesions. Her lips are pink, they do not look dry, cracked, bruised, and now have her open her mouth and I'll do a visual inspection. And you say, ah? Deeper. Okay. So when upon inspection, her mouth is pink, her pharynx is pink. She doesn't have any swollen tonsils, so they're non-swollen. Her uvula is intact, it is midline, and she doesn't have any exudates in her mouth. Okay. All right. Can you give me a good smile? Can you do that? All right. Thank you. So now I'll be moving on to assessing shoulders. And could you do a shrug for me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I want you to raise your hand like you're surrendering to the authorities. All righty. And now put your hands behind your back like you're getting arrested. Okay. Did you have any problems doing any rotation?
No.
Okay, so that was just assessing to see if she has any full rotation of her shoulders, and she didn't have any issues with that. So now I want you to put your arms up. I'm going to assess some more cranial nerves. So don't let me push you, and don't let me pull. Okay, so her strength is 5 of 5 and equal on bilaterally. Okay, now could you put out your arms for me? I'm going to assess her brachioradialis deep tendon reflex. And I'm going to assess her pulses. Brachial, radial. I'm going to have you turn your arms over. I'm going to assess her brachial reflex. All right. So now I want you to turn your hands over. Close your eyes for me. I'm going to put an object in your hand, and I'm going to have you tell me what this is. So now she's assessing for any sensations.
Paper clip.
Correct. So this was a paper clip. And I'm also going to have her assess this other object. Keep your eyes closed for me.
A dime.
A dime. So she recognizes that she has a coin in her hand. So one thing I did not do, and I'm going to go back to assessment of her eyes, I didn't assess the reflexes. So now I'm going to, or accommodation. Just going to have you follow my finger.
Okay.
Okay, don't move your head, just with your eyes. Okay. So her pupils are reacting the way that they should. And when I come closer to her face with my finger, she is constricting. And then when I come out, she'll dilate, her pupils dilate as needed. And that's a cranial nerve that she has, trochanter and ocular nerve that she's been able to pass. So, okay. So now I'm going to go over to the Weber and the Rhine test. So I have a hearing test here, and for the Weber test, it's going to test for lateralization and conduction. And for the Rhine's test, it's going to assess for bone and air conduction. So tell me if you feel, if it's louder on either side of your ear. I'll do it one more time. You're not doing it fast enough.
No.
Either side?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And tell me if it's louder here.
Yes.
Okay, tell me when you don't hear it anymore.
I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. You hear it now?
Mm-mm. Yes.
Tell me when you don't hear it anymore. Okay. Do you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So her air conduction is greater than her bone conduction, and she's not having any hearing loss. So now I'm going to have you, I'm going to listen to her heart and her lungs to assess any type of issues that she might have there. I'm singing. And I'm going to start with the back side of her lungs. Just need you to take some deep breaths for me. Great. All right, now I need you to say 99,
99.
99,
99.
99.
99.
Okay. So I'm also going to assess her lung sounds in the front anteriorly. Deep breath. Okay. So her lung sounds are clear. She has equal respiration. She's not having any dyspnea. She's having not any no shortness of breath, and I don't hear any adventitious sound. So now I'll be moving on to the cardiovascular exam, where I'll be using the bell of the stethoscope to listen to her carotids. And I'll continue to use the bell of the bell of the stethoscope to assess for any low frequency sounds of her heart, starting with the atrial valve, the pulmonic valve. Then I'll be going to the Erb's point, then to the tricuspid, and then mitral valve. Well, I'm just going to act like I'm doing it. Okay, so now I'll be turning over to my diaphragm to assess for